Today we're going to be talking about how to make money on 1 acre or less. So recently we had a subscriber ask, how do I hustle money on 1 acre or less? So there's actually quite a few ways out there. One way that I want to talk about is vertical gardening. Vertical gardening is an amazing ordeal. By planting vertically, that's going to help save you space. We had another person that had commented, what about planting strawberries in a vertical garden? And I think that would be a great idea, because if you had the strawberry started at the top, your first plant, or maybe several plants all the way down, once the strawberry started letting out its daughter plants, then they would root into the soil below them, and it would keep on going and going and going until it got down to the ground, at that point you could put pots down there on the ground so that the daughter plants would root into them, and then when you cut the runner, or the daughter plant, when you cut it off of its parent, then it would you would have a viable plant that is able to be sold. And the same way with on the way up the vertical garden, you could still take daughter plants out of there at each additional layer and be able to sell them. Also, it would make picking the strawberries and any other kind of fruit or vegetable quite easy, because it's all going to be right there in a row. It would definitely save a lot of space, and I think that it could potentially make you a pretty decent amount of money. If you're able to have bees on your property, they don't take up a lot of space. However, they go out considerably far. They'll go around pollinating and making your plants and vegetables better. They're going to be making the plants and vegetables of others better, and they're also going to be pollinating your flowers, pulling all that pollen back into the hive and then turning it into honey. Either rabbits or chickens, both are very amazing. Rabbits, they're almost like little chickens in a way. A chicken will lay you an egg a day, and a rabbit can pretty much keep up with that in baby bunnies. If you have the rabbits, you'll be able to have the manure from the rabbit. You'll be able to sell the babies. I believe they're called kits. And if they're pedigreed, that could bring an even higher level of income. Also, one of the big and important factors in order to make money, saving money can be essential too. So what are things that you don't need, that you don't have to have, that you could either live without, or maybe live without a short period of time, so that you can get something to invest that money into something that can bring you more income, such as the rabbits or the chickens, or garden seeds for that matter. It's really easy. I can't push this point enough. It's really easy to sell hatching eggs online for a good amount of money. That will help you out considerably. Chickens don't take up a whole lot of space. They're not like a goat or a cow or sheep for that matter. It doesn't take a lot of space. Finding the market, that's the big thing, is finding the market. Do you really want to take your sheep or your goats to the sell barn, or your chickens for that matter, or rabbits? You really want to take them to the sell barn? I can tell you, you're probably not going to get the greatest amount of dollar, not the greatest bang for your buck. You'd be better off waiting and selling it online to somebody that wants the animal, will appreciate the animal, and they're not having to go through all that. crafts and stuff that you can do inside. I know I've hit this subject before, but stuff like there's soap making, there's candle making. Maybe you could render the fat that is coming off of the food that you're already eating, such as hamburger meat. If you're cooking hamburger meat up in the skillet before you season it, pour that hamburger meat off, or excuse me, pour the fat off of the hamburger meat, the grease, and render it into candle making, or render it into soap making. I know there's recipes and stuff for lard, which is the pig version, and then of course cow would be tallow. I believe I'm saying that right. But you can make either of those, soap or candles, just out of the stuff that you're already using, something that you're already doing. Quail out on your place, they don't take up near as much space as the chicken. They lay a ton of eggs. People will buy the eggs yet again for hatching. Also, if you get overran with eggs, you can pickle them. They last for a long time. I don't know if you've ever ate pickled eggs, but they're great. Back when we had quail, which we intend to get more eventually, but when we had quail, we used to pickle some of our quail eggs. Unlike a chicken, a quail egg will hatch in about 18 days, so it's a quicker turnaround, so you can put more meat in your freezer in less time, depending on how many eggs you get. Growing mushrooms, if you have access to any kind of logs, and a lot of times you can buy the logs online too, if you didn't have access to trees or anything on your current land. But if you grow mushrooms, you can inoculate logs, grow mushrooms, sell the mushrooms. Also, yet again, it's providing an additional food source for you, so you're cutting down on that expense for your family. If you had the logs and was able to do it yourself, inoculate the logs and sell the inoculated logs. Also, real quick, I want to cover a quick topic on cards on YouTube. It was brought up to me recently that there was multiple people that didn't understand how cards work. So the way cards work is typically, and I've noticed on some browsers they haven't opened up, but typically there will be a little eye that's up at the top corner. I'll put a picture up there, and what will happen is it has a card. You can click on it, and sometimes we'll have polls, and within that poll it will allow you to say what you prefer, your option. It's kind of like voting. Essentially, that's what it is. So it allows you to pick what you like the best. Recently, we did a poll on which duck do you like, and that's when it was brought to my attention that it wasn't showing up in a lot of browsers or for a lot of different people. So if you do see the eye icon up in the top, that will allow you to check in and to give us your answer on what you would like. Also, if that's not working and I say a poll or Jeanette or whoever, and you guys would like, just leave a comment down below. The one thing about the poll is it just doesn't show your name. As far as I understand, it doesn't show any names of who voted what. It just gives us an idea of which is preferred. Trapping, if you live out in a rural area where you can have a few traps out on your land and not have to worry, you definitely want to make sure that any of your animals or children either knew about them or wasn't going to get in them. You place them in a way that they wasn't going to get in them. But trapping could bring you a decent income throughout the winter. I believe you have to have a trapper's license and a small game hunting. Definitely want to talk with your conservation department, figure out everything that you need to have to be legal. But after trapping, one cool part is you're providing meat for your family, and you also have a hide that then you can work with and essentially make a craft out of it. Hey guys, the last but not least idea that I have for this video, and there's plenty more. The last idea I have for this video is hitting on chickens one last time. A person could go out to their neighbors and they could buy chickens from a local hatchery or buy them online and have them shipped into them, and they could take orders for other people. That way the other people don't have to pay these large shipping fees, because a lot of times if you don't order a certain amount, they will charge you additional shipping. So what you do is you go to your neighbors and you say, hey, I'm going to be making an order for chicks coming up. Would you like to buy any? Then you give them a list with a list of prices, and once you've done that, then they order. Of course, you've marked up the price a little bit because you're making a little bit extra for being a large order. Then once you've got everything wrote down and set the way that you wanted it, or the way that the customer asked, then you'll get your chicks in. You go back to your notebook and you say, oh, such and such ordered this many chicks and they've already paid, so here we go. If you have any chicks arrive dead, hopefully you've set all that money that you got from them back into an envelope sitting at home, so that way, one, it's not showing up in your bank account for any reason. Two, the money is sitting there in case the chicks are dead, so that way you can either offer the people the option to refund them the money, or you can tell the company that shipped you the chicks what happened, and most usually they have guaranteed live arrival. Make sure of that. And if that's happened, then you won't be in any issues, because they can give you or send you more chicks, provided that the customer wants to wait the additional time to get them. So anyways guys, I think that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to go ahead and throw a poll up there in the corner. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. The poll is asking you guys, do you want more videos like this, more ways to make income? Because there's so many more ways to make income on a homestead, to live a simple life. If you guys haven't already, hit that subscribe button, comment, and share. It helps us out every second, and I really do appreciate every comment that you guys give, everything. All the support that you guys give to our channel. So thank you so much, and we'll catch you next time.